How are you, Christina?
I need to pop over to ease my anxiety over that last game we played. Wow.
Your team won.
I know. I know.
This kitchen's only for winners.
in shock right now. Everybody's traumatized.
We are. We're all traumatized.
That's
But
what I do.
you know what?
Fun,
Don't worry, because our tummies are going to be filled with such goodness and lusciousness, because nothing goes better than what you eat, than a steak, anything, than a popover. And showing us how to make a must-have item from his popular steakhouse restaurant, the Arthur J. is Chef David LeFevre. LeFevre.
Thank you.
I have to mention, though, he's a Michelin chef, everyone, so let's hear, you know.
Oh, I know. Yep.
It's a big deal. Big deal. And congratulations on that, chef.
Thanks.
Such a destination for everybody to be like, that's what I want to reach for. I want to arrive at that stat. Where did it start for you in the kitchen? What was the first dish you made? You cooked?
The first dish that I actually learned to cook was with my mother. She taught me how to make a chowder that she used to make. And
Chowder.
Which is kind of unique because we grew up in the Midwest, but my mother was from the East Coast. So I remember her making this really great, rich, luscious chowder. And I think I was in 5th or 6th grade. And I just remember asking, how do you make that? And
That's how it started?
That's how it started. I loved eating, and I was tired of waiting for people to cook for me. That's really why.
Why are you tired of waiting?
But
Bring it out.
it's like with the chowder, it seems complicated. Like you have to learn different things.
Well, if you really want to learn how to cook, if you really want to learn how to learn a bunch of different techniques, learning how to make soup is actually a great way to do that, because you have to learn how to make a stock. You have to learn how to sweat vegetables. You need to learn how to braise meat.
Vegetables.
Yeah, that's slightly
Sounds odd.
saute.
It
Yeah,
sounds odd
all
and
right.
awkward.
Right, but it's a technical term.
Interestingly, my first comedy album was called Rich Luscious Chowder. So
Nice,
weird.
nice, cool. But if you learn how to make a soup, you learn how to saute, you learn how to braise, you learn how to make stocks, you learn a bunch of different cooking techniques in just making a soup. So it's actually a really good way to cook.
Well, a lot of people are intimidated or think popovers are hard to make, but they're actually not. But there is a technique that you do need.
Yeah, there is.
They're not hard to eat, I'll tell you that.
Right?
Oh my God, this is so good.
Good, right.
Popovers are so popular, yet you know I'm
A lot of places don't ever even consider making them at restaurants because it's a kind of a lengthy process and they're temperamental. But once you really learn the oven and you learn the technique, they're really, really simple
Great,
to
let's
make,
get
okay?
started.
So the first thing you want to do when you make a popover is you want to make sure that you have a pan, the popover pans that are hot in the oven. So we already put them in the oven.
Look at this, you
Right.
guys. Watch this. Look at this.
So these are the popover pans.
Oh, popover pan. Oh,
Right.
Never mind. We'll
Right.
to you in a
So
minute.
this is what a popover mold looks like, okay? So we preheat them and get them really, really hot. They have to be hot. That's
Why?
one of the special things.
Why?
Because there's no leavener in the ingredients besides the liquid. So it's the heat creating steam with the liquid that actually makes them rise and
It
puff.
was in there. What temperature for how long?
It was just from 425 until it's hot. It takes about 15 minutes for them to
Okay.
get hot enough, okay?
I've heard you can use a muffin tin. Is that true
You can.
or false?
You can use a muffin tin, but
won't come up as high.
it won't
We need to
pop
see
as
what
high
comes
as
out
these
of
will,
there.
though, yeah. So,
So have you ever had a popover be a flopover then?
yeah, you can have a flopover popover.
could?
Only if you can say that
they're
5
not-
or 6 times
Flopover
fast.
popover.
Flopover
They're
popover.
not hot enough.
I've been on a diet for the last 2 months. The only time I can eat carbs is on camera, so I'm like
There you
way
go.
into this.
So
I have more for you.
now we've got a hot pan here.
camera.
So you're gonna take, we've got milk, we've got eggs, and we've got egg whites. Put it all in there together. There you go. Nice.
Eggs.
Unabashedly,
These
I
whole
like
eggs
it.
or egg-
Yep.
yeah.
Those are whole eggs. Those are egg whites. Couple extra egg whites, and then just add the salt in there.
All right.
Perfect. And then you can just
All
whisk.
the salt?
Yeah, just add it all in there. Yep.
Okay.
And then whisk that together. Okay, so we're gonna get the liquids all homogeneous, nicely mixed together. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the flour to it. A lot of times you'll see people take flour and add the liquid to it and make a well. This time we're actually gonna do it in reverse. We don't wanna work the flour a lot, okay? You don't wanna work the flour a lot and don't wanna get too glutinous, otherwise it'll be really rubbery, okay? All right, so I'm gonna add this to it nice and lightly while you stir, okay? There you
Stir
go.
or whisk?
Yeah, both.
All right.
Okay, and you're gonna wanna just mix it until you see pea-size granules of flour in there, okay? So just about this size. You don't have to mix it until it's totally smooth, right? The less you mix
It's
it, actually,
lumpy.
usually the better. Yep.
All right,
Keep
is this-
going
is
on
this-
that. Yep.
All right.
Okay, so one of the key things with the batter is you want to make sure that you let the batter sit at least 1 hour before you use it in the popover. Okay. So a lot of people will make it and they'll pour it in there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Outside. All right. Good shooting, Tex. All right. Nice.
Let's
It's easy. That
Is
never
this okay?
happens.
What happens?
A little
during
bit
that-
more here.
what
That's just
happens
on the
during
edges.
that hour?
So the flour will absorb the liquid more. without actually working the flour.
Did you have
every
to ask
time
that
you
as
work,
obvious
every
question?
time you whisk flour, you're working the gluten in the flour. It'll get thicker and thicker and firmer, and when you cook it, it'll get rubberier.
Just letting it do
so you want to just
work on
let
its
it
own.
How
absorb.
is that?
That's perfect. That's
This
great.
is perfect.
So you can just now we have one that we already made ahead
All
of
right,
time.
okay.
So you can get rid of that. All right.
Oh,
Boom.
okay.
Look
Through
at
the
that.
magic
Beautiful.
of television, we have some batter. All right. So you're gonna pour batter into these, just about halfway into each one of those.
Halfway.
Yep. Perfect.
About halfway?
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
pretty
That's
good.
good. A
Little
little less
higher,
than that.
honestly.
No,
Little
don't
higher.
listen to that guy. Right.
You're doing great.
It's kind of like a high kick. But
I know what to do with hecklers. I know what to do with hecklers.
Okay.
Yep,
Theoretically,
exactly.
it's going into hot oil, right?
Yeah,
It's a
so that's
hot pan.
going into a hot pan, right?
Okay.
Exactly. And what will happen is it'll start to form around the edges, and that heat will react with the liquid in the batter, and that air will happen. That steam will actually make the popover start to rise.
You're like
okay?
a chef mixed with Mr. Wizard. You
That's
know a lot
right.
about science.
That's right. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to pop that in the oven. Okay. And we're going to put that in there for
the name-
45 minutes.
Pop.
A lot of popping going
Okay,
on.
look at this.
For
Watch
about
this.
45
Watch
minutes to an hour.
45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
I mean,
Oh
my gosh, that is like a house.
Look at the size of that.
So these things, they pop up, they create this nice crispy shell, little Emmental cheese at the end, and then you can just take them. Look at this. Here, I'll give you.
How did you put the cheese at the end? So, can I ask
this
you a question
one.
though?
This
Many
one.
times,
Look at this.
I don't know if you've
Oh,
got.
no, here you go. You get to eat it.
Oh, I do.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. When you make the here's an, I'll give you.
I want to get some of that cheese. Nice eat. All right. That was oil. That was canola oil spray. I'm interested.
I need to ask you. I need to ask you though. When you make these, a lot of times when you take them out of the
Okay.
Yeah, look at that. See, they're
Look at
nice
that.
and
Look how
steamy.
pretty that.
Okay, you can
Right,
do
they're
that.
hollow, right? They just have that beautiful, look
How
at
do you
that
get
center.
them not to collapse? That's the problem.
Okay, so that's a great question. Most people cook them once they pop up. They take them out, and then they'll fall.
Yeah.
So you have to leave them in. Once they pop up, you have to leave them in the oven for about another 10 to 15 minutes, so that outer shell will get nice and firm, and so they'll stay puffed like that, and they'll stay firm.